This is Culture Uncut. I'm your host, Jason Spears, and wow. That's really all I can say after that. Wow. Um, so it was kind of a tale of quarters for me, or maybe 3 quarters and 1 quarter. Because for the first 3 quarters, I was pleasantly surprised how well the Colts were playing. I didn't think they were going to win, but I was really impressed with the effort and with the way that they came out and hung in there against a really, really good team. And I don't even know what to say about the fourth quarter. 21-19, Dallas going to the fourth quarter. And folks, I've been watching Colts football since they were in Baltimore. That is legitimately the worst quarter of football I've seen them play. They were outscored 33-0 in the fourth quarter. 33-0 to make the final score 54-19. Now, to put this into perspective, through this game up to the first 12 games, the Colts had not allowed more than 27 points in any one game. They allowed 33 points in 1 quarter in this game. 33 points. There's no excuse for it. It was just an absolute meltdown from everyone, mostly the offense. The offense was just so bad. I mean, listen, I have a lot of respect for Matt Ryan. He's done a lot of great things in this league. I have nothing but respect for what he's accomplished, but he's done. He looks done to me. His footwork is bad. I know the offensive line is bad, but his arm is shot. He cannot make the throws. The longer this goes on, I mean, at this point, I just don't want him to get hurt because I think that's going to be more money we're going to have to pay. So I don't know, guys. I'm speechless and I don't understand what's going on. But I mean, 5 turnovers. One was a pick six, I think, or maybe it was a fumble return. It all happened so fast. And of course, Malik Hooker has the greatest game of his career against us. Literally did more in this game than he did all of his time in Indianapolis. Good for him. Good for him. But I mean, you just can't make the mistakes this team makes. 6 penalties, 84, I think 84. No, they had 6 penalties. I don't know what the yardage was, but 5 turnovers, 4 in the last quarter. Mo Alley Cox thinks he's playing basketball. He's dribbling the ball down the field. Matt Ryan, it doesn't matter what you tell him. If he gets sacked, he's going to fumble the ball. Just horrible throws. He just can't make the throws. I don't care what we do the rest of the season, but I don't want to see any more of Matt Ryan. I've seen enough. And I don't and that's with me saying I know Nick Foles is not going to be great. I know Sam Ehlinger is not going to be great. I know we probably won't win any more games, but I can't watch Matt Ryan anymore. Yes, the offensive line is bad, but good quarterbacks find a way to overcome that, whether it's IDing shit before the play, getting them in the right play, moving the line around so that the guys know who they're blocking. He doesn't do any of that. He does none of that. Every quarterback we've had before that outside of Wentz did it really well. Jacoby did it well. Philip Rivers was Peyton Manning level, maybe better. Philip Rivers was unbelievable at IDing defenses pre-snap, and Matt Ryan has been underwhelming at it. Now, I don't know if this is a scheme problem. I tend to think not, because the scheme worked for how many ever years. Our offense was top 10 since Reich was here. So I don't think it's a scheme problem. I think it's more of a quarterback problem. I don't think it's all Matt Ryan's fault, but at the end of the day, it's kind of like the thing with head coaches. When you win, they get the credit. When they lose, they get the blame. It is what it is. At At this point, we're in the top 10. I don't see us winning as far as draft picks go. I don't see us winning a lot more, maybe one more game. I'm looking at the Bears as the team to focus on because right now they're picking second. I don't want to wait for a project. If we can get Stroud or Young, I want to trade up. I don't care. I don't want a project. I don't want to sit through a year of a journeyman quarterback. I don't want to do that again. Because I'll tell you right now, if we take Richardson, I don't think he's going to start year one because he's just not ready. He's too raw. It wouldn't be fair to the kid. So I'm looking at the Bears. Right now, they're 2, I think. And their schedule is the Eagles, the Bills, the Lions. The Eagles, the Bills, and the Vikings, I think, all in Chicago. And then they got to go to Detroit. They could very easily lose all 4 of those games. That's the team that, if I'm Ballard or whoever the GM is, has got to call. This team has to get a quarterback. Stop with the Band-Aids. This season has been a train wreck, and it's sad because if it was just an average offense, which I thought it was going to be above average. I thought Matt Ryan was going to come in here and be better than Carson Wentz, and he hasn't. He's been horrible. I don't think this team does any better with Wentz either, but it's sad because the defense really, outside of one quarter and Jacksonville, which I just throw that game out. It was horrible, but for the most part, they've been good. They're one big time pass rusher away from being elite. But when your offense is this bad, at some point the defense is just going to get worn out. And ironically, it's funny because we actually won the time of possession in this game, so the defense was actually on the field less than the offense. So the defense, they weren't great either. They got absolutely destroyed on the ground. I got the numbers right here. 34 carries, 220 yards. That's 6.5 yards per carry. That's terrible. So the defense isn't absolved from blame either. But when your offense turns the ball over like our offense does and gets stupid penalties and for some ungodly, unknown reason throws Matt Pryor in the game to basically slow any type of momentum down that we had, which we just had going down the field, I think has scored a touchdown to take a 10-7 lead. Matt Pryor comes in the game and just, wrecks everything. Then they bring Kelly back in, and I think they got a field goal. So this team does things I don't understand. I think this was Jeff Saturday's absolute worst coach game. There was a huge play where Isaiah Rodgers, I think, made a pick when it was 21-19. It was questionable. He might not have caught it, but it was worth the challenge. It was a game-changing play because if they call that an interception, it's our ball. It's 21-19. We're driving to take the lead. Instead, we don't challenge it. On top of that, we get a personal foul for helmet-to-helmet. So we would have been set back, but we would have had the ball. Instead, we don't challenge it for some. I just don't understand that. The risk reward, it's worth it at that part of the game. It's worth it because if somehow they overturn it, and stranger things have happened, right? Stranger things have happened. If they overturn that and give them the interception, it's our ball. Instead, we get the 15-yard penalty. They go down the field, they score, and it's a wrap. They score 33 points in 15 minutes. So it's sad because I really feel like 2/3 of this team, especially the defense, is playoff level good. McLaughlin's been fine as a kicker with another great night from him, but we just cannot get out of our own way. And the offensive line obviously is an issue, and it's going to be an issue all year. So I am very frustrated, not so much with the loss, but the way we finished the game. I said previously that I was going to look at the way the team finished the season, not wins and losses, but just the effort. And I thought the effort was really, really good for 45 minutes. The last 15 minutes was awful. Awful. The worst I've ever seen as far as you go from a one field goal game, a 2-point game, to losing the game by 35 points. That is unfathomable to me. So, guys, I don't know what to say. I know you guys are pissed and frustrated, and of course it's on national TV. I'm sure everybody's making jokes, and we are a joke right now. Our offense is a joke. It has to be overhauled. The offensive line has to be overhauled outside of two players, in my opinion. I think Kelly, you let him go, release him. I think that the only two guys you keep are Smith and obviously Nelson, but you build around the rest of those guys. I think Kelly's on the wrong side of his career now. So I just rebuild. That has to be rebuilt. I don't think obviously Saturday is going to be the coach next year. This game, you know, I didn't expect him to come in and work miracles, but he's too conservative, and I think this team just needs an overhaul. The thing that sucks is I think if that overhaul comes, you're going to lose good coaches like Gus Bradley and his staff and Bubba Ventrone and his staff, and that sucks because they're really good at what they do. But a new coach has to be able to hire his guys, and that's what they do. That's what coaches do. They come in and they've got to have that autonomy to hire their own guys. Now, maybe the new coach likes Gus Bradley and wants to keep him in place. Maybe he likes the defense. That's possible. But this offense has to get fixed. I don't know who they're going to look at for coordinator, but they need somebody innovative. They need somebody, but at the end of the day, I'm saying these things about coaching, but at the end of the day, and I said this every time people got on Flus, it's about the players. At the end of the day, offensively, whether or not you liked Frank Reich, didn't like him, whatever, Chuck Pagano, the same thing. At the end of the day, it's about the players. Yes, the coaches have to put them in position to succeed. I agree. But the biggest difference that's made in a football game is not made by coaches, it's made by talent, players, execution. That's on the players. Offensively, this team is awful. They don't execute, they don't play fast, they are not in sync. Their receivers are running the wrong routes, quarterbacks fumbling the ball. I mean, you guys watched it. I don't have to go on and on about it. So for me, the game's a disappointment. Season's been just an abject disappointment train wreck from day one. From that stupid tie with the Texans. You knew it was going to be downhill. And then after that game with the Jags and the way they just laid down in that game. And then then you had the Patriots game, which we got embarrassed and gave up 10 sacks. And now you got this gem to add to it. So look, I was on the fire Frank Reich train, as well as Ballard, but I wanted to wait till the end of the season, let the guy go out on his shield. Maybe he turns it around, maybe he doesn't. But I talked about this in the last pod or a few pods ago, but I'm just not a huge fan of the way the Colts did this. I don't think it really matters in the sense of wins and losses, but I do think it matters in perception around the league with coaches that might want to come here, might be turned off by the way the owner has handled this season. I think he has meddled with Ballard. I think he's meddled with the coaching staff. I think he's meddled with personnel. That's going to be a tough sell. And the Colts are not in a good spot. They have no quarterback. They have a really struggling left tackle. They don't really have an elite pass rusher. Ngakoue is just too hot and cold for me. He's not consistent. I think Quiddy, who had a nice game tonight, I thought, is solid, but they need a guy outside of him. Dio really hasn't shown much. Banagoo he's not going to be on the team. Odanabago, or however you say his name, I always screw it up, probably won't be a part of the team. So this team needs to definitely improve with his pass rush. But outside of that, I like the linebackers, I like the corners, I like the safeties, I like the tackles. Maybe pick up another tackle. But this draft, I think, is going to have to be heavy offense. And I don't think our skill players are that bad. I love Pierce, who was absolutely great tonight. I think they need to throw him the ball more. I think he had, let me see, wrote it down. 4 catches, 86 yards and a touchdown. Doolin had a nice double move, beat Diggs for a touchdown. So there was some good in tonight's game, as crazy as that sounds, and that's the stuff I want to focus on. But, excuse me, I like our future with our receivers. I don't know what you do with Paris. Do you bring him back? But he had a okay night. He's been a lot better this year. Still not what you want. I want more out of him, more explosive plays. But I can't get mad at him when the offensive line is what it is and the quarterback's arm is what it is. So I hope they bring him back on a 1-year deal. because I think he's got a lot to offer and he stayed healthy this year and done a really nice job as our third receiver. I like Doolin. Um, and I like our young tight ends. I like Granson and I like Woods and Ogletree. I think is going to be really good. But I'm Mo Cox. He hasn't earned his money. They got. I don't know what the hit is on him, but they need to bring in a vet that can block. That's what they need. They've got pass receiving tight ends, two of them, and probably a third one with Ogletree, who was really killing it in training camp. They need a fourth guy that's just straight up can come in there and block. I don't know if you turn Penner into a tight end. I don't know what you do because I think Penner might actually be their center next year. But they very clearly need a left tackle. Whether Ryman is that guy, I think remains to be seen. But I think you need to at least bring in competition for him. They need a right guard and they need a center. Whether those guys are on this roster, I doubt it. But they've got to get that fixed. But the biggest thing is they've got to have a quarterback of the future, something that they can incrementally get better year to year, build on it. Whether that's Stroud or Young, those are the two guys. I'm done screwing around. I want to trade up and get one of them. I don't want to. I don't really want a project player because I like. I'm not a huge Stroud guy, but I do like him. I think it's Young and Stroud are up here, and the other guys are a tier below, in my opinion. Now, my concern with Young is, as I've stated, he's tiny, but he makes all the throws. He's fun to watch. He would be electric with Taylor and the things you could do with him and move him around. Stroud's not as mobile, but he's got a great arm, pretty accurate. Um, I think he would have a little bit more trouble in this first year just because he doesn't have the athletic ability and mobility that Young has. But I trust those two guys. For me, it's those two, then Richardson because of his upside, then Levis. One of those four guys. I know there's an Penix, I think, is going back to school. I don't know about Nix yet. There's some other guys. The Washington State kid, I haven't watched a ton on him, but I feel like a lot of these guys are gonna be project kind of guy. Like they're not going to play much in the first year, and you can't really because you don't want to ruin them. So tough. They're in a tough position, and they put themselves in this position. They have absolutely put themselves in this position by band-aiding the most important positions really, left tackle. They band-aided that position, and also since Costanzo retired, and also quarterback. So those two things have to be fixed. So we'll see what happens. But as far as this game goes, Dallas is a very good football team. The Colts hung with them for 3 quarters and then absolutely crapped all over themselves in the fourth quarter. It was embarrassing. I thought the offense was just a joke, and it really comes down to the line and the quarterback just, and then and just dropping balls and putting the ball on the ground. I mean, it looked like a preseason. The fourth quarter looked like a preseason game. So just thinking about who I thought played well, and it's a short list, but I thought Zach Moss, for the short time he was in there, did a good job. I think he had 3 carries for 18 yards. I think they need to get him more involved, get him more carries. There's no use in put more tread on Jonathan Taylor's tires, start splitting the carries up. I hope he gets more run. I'd like to see more out of Doolin. I thought he had a nice game tonight. Obviously, they got to throw the ball to Pierce more. Put it up, take chances. Hell, if you're going to turn the ball over 5 times, make those 5 turnovers, 5 interceptions trying to get the ball to your playmakers, not, screens to Mo Cox where he dribbles the ball or, any of these other stupid plays they run. Throw it down the field. When they threw it down the field tonight, they made plays again, and they just will not do it. So whether it's Nick Foles, Sam Ehlinger, whatever, I don't care. I said it last show. I just want to see him throw the ball down the field. If you look at the numbers from this game, I mean, team-wise, they're very even. If you looked at this game, you probably would say, Dallas probably won that by 7 to 10 points, right? Then you look at the turnovers, and that's the difference in the game. Simply the difference in the game. We got 1 on defense. We gave up 5. 1 was a touchdown. When your offense is giving up points like we are, I mean, we have like 32 fumbles. Guys, we only got 4 more left. Only 4 more left, and then I'm excited to find out where this team goes. New GM, new head coach. whatever draft, looking at players. I'm excited for all that. I cannot tell you how excited I am for this season to end because it has just been so depressing. And I have never been more wrong about any sports opinion than I was wrong about this football team. I mean, I thought they would win 12 or 13 games, win the division, and, you know, be hosting a playoff game. That's insane to me right now. The fact that I actually predicted that is makes me look like the biggest fool on this earth. But I own it because I was trying to be optimistic this year, and I thought Matt Ryan would be Matt Ryan, you know, average Matt Ryan from last year, whatever. And he's been awful, just awful. And the offensive line has regressed to a degree that I mean, they can't pick up. I mean, Taylor can't block anymore. The offensive line they can't get lined up and pick up stunts. They can't pick up blitzes that are simple blitzes. They can I mean, I just don't get it. But we've got a bye week this week, so thank God we can talk about something other than the current team. We can talk draft, we can talk anything you guys want. And just a show note, I talked to Luke today on it via text, and I think he's going to come on my show. He's certainly not ready to come back and regularly do for the culture. He's dealing with some personal stuff I'm not going to get into, but I do think he will come on our show. Or my show. I asked him. He said he would. I think it'd be interesting to hear his thoughts on this team because I'm sure you're tired of hearing mine because I get repetitive. But um, yeah, I was just trying to think if anybody else played well. Not that I really saw outside of Pierce. I thought Moss is okay offensively. They didn't get the ball to Woods enough. Woods should just start. I don't understand it. Like, what has Mo Alley Cox done to earn? He hasn't blocked well. When he catches the ball, he fumbles it. And I love Mo. Like, I love Mo, but he's having a terrible year. So at this point, what do we have to lose by putting Jelani out there? I just want to see the young guys now. We're clearly not going to the playoffs. I mean, mix in the young guys and let's just finish out the year. Trying to think defensively, not a great night, I didn't think, for Gilmore. Not a great night for Rodgers. I thought McLeod was good and then had some bad missed tackles. Gilmore had a missed tackle. I'm trying to think. Thomas, I thought was okay. I thought Zaire was okay. Bobby struggled a little bit. I mean, Grover has got, dude. If this season accomplishes nothing else, Grover should get legit like AP votes for defense for his defensive tackle position. He won't win or be first team, but he should definitely get votes. He better be on the Pro Bowl, be a Pro Bowl player. He has been absolutely great this year. His stats are unbelievable. I saw some quoted on Twitter, but I didn't save the tweet and I should have. It's something like certain amount of tackles, certain amount of sacks, certain amount of tackles for loss, and the only guy that's got the number is him. He's got to be a Pro Bowl player. He's my favorite defensive player on the Colts. I love watching that guy play. He plays hard no matter what, all the time, whatever the score. Um, I got a lot of love for that guy, man. I hope they re-sign him. I know he and Gilmore have one more year on their deals. I hope Grover gets re-signed. He's earned it. He deserves another contract. Um, so that's where I'm at with this game, with this team, with the roster. Definitely going to be watching a lot of bowl games. I'm excited for that just to check out, you know, offensive line play, quarterback play, maybe some defensive ends from smaller schools, whatever. I just thought, and then the Senior Bowl, you want to try to get an eye on talent. And during the year, I don't get as much because I'm focused on the Colts. But this is a fun time of year to scout because they're playing big games and you want to see how these guys play in big games. Whether that's and congratulations to TCU. I know my man Mike from the Blue Stable is really happy. TCU absolutely deserved to get to the Final Four. Alabama did not. They did not earn it. I thought they got it right with Michigan and TCU playing, and then Georgia and Ohio State playing. And I'm going to watch all those teams play. There's a lot of talent on those teams, and I'm excited to see all of those teams play. There's so many good players, and there's good players on every team that's in these bowl games. So I'll try to, if you follow me on Twitter at For the Culture J, I'll try to for every bowl game, I'll try to post the guys that I'm looking at or guys you guys should look at for each team. I mean, because I think, it's a fun time of the year just to sit down, kick it, watch some football, and just chill and see what's out there. Because the Colts, whether it's Chris Ballard, which I hope it's not, but if it is, whoever the GM is, they gotta hit on these guys. And this is a big year for us because we're going to be picking in the top 10. So we're gonna be have a chance to get a lot of really good players into the fold along with what we already have. And again, I think our defense is fine. Defense is fine. Special teams is fine. Problem is the offense. Systemically, whatever. O-line has to be fixed. Quarterback has to be fixed. If we get this defense next year with an average quarterback and I think we'll probably have a third or fourth. Well, we won't have a fourth place schedule, but a third place schedule because I think Jacksonville's going to pass us. Um, who knows, man? You can turn it around in this league real quick, and now there's 7 teams in the postseason, so you never know. But um, I'm really hoping that Luke will come on this week and we can talk ball and see how he's been doing and what he's looking at when he sees this team. Because for me, it's just offensively, I have no answers. I don't know what you do. I just know rotating Matt Pryor is not one of them. I mean, you might as well put petrified wood on the field because that's what he is to me. Petrified wood. He can't move. He can't block. He's literally just a turnstile. I don't know why they were rotating him with Kelly. It makes no sense. Kelly's natural position is right tackle. He plays well there. So why would you rotate him with a trash can? I don't understand it. But that's why they get paid the big bucks, and I do this show that maybe 400 people watch right now. So um, I am definitely going to do a Q&A this week. If you have any questions, put them down below for the bye week Q&A. I'm going to bring Luke on too at some point. So those are probably 2 shows that we're going to do or I'm going to do, and one will be with him, but it'll be on this channel. So please, guys, put the word out. Trying to grow the channel. If you guys like what you see and you're digging what I'm doing, please, tweet it out or put it on Facebook or whatever to check out the pod because I'm trying to grow it, doing the best I can. I'm running it all alone. Haven't had a lot of help, and I'm new to a lot of this stuff, so I would appreciate that. I do appreciate all the people that have subscribed and have been fans of For the Culture and now Culture Uncut and followed us from day one. Very appreciative of you guys. That's why I do the show, whether it's 400, 4,000, whatever. I'm going to keep doing it and hopefully grow the show, try to get more content out, try to get more people from other shows on. I'm not doing the nobody from other Colt podcast thing. I'm going to bring those guys on if they'll come on and try to get some guests on for you. So trying to grow it, get some interviews. I'm pretty green at interviewing, but definitely looking forward to some giveaways, some fun stuff down the stretch. Because obviously what's on the product on the field, at least on one side of the ball, is not very fun. And Jim Irsay, this is going to be quite telling with him this offseason. This is a huge, huge, huge offseason for this organization, top down, everybody. They got to get these things right. They got to get the hires right. They got to get the draft picks right. They got to get it all right. It's almost all got to go perfect or go really well because if it doesn't, you could put this team in a hole for years if you miss on that quarterback or you miss on the coach or you miss on the GM. I mean, you got to get these things right. So he's got to, I hope he's back channeling right now and reaching out to people and seeing who's going to be available. I know that goes on a lot. They got to be prepared as soon as this season ends to hit the ground running. If you're keeping Ballard, which I'm against, I've said that, keep him, let him know, keep the whole scouting staff together and hit the ground running and go after the quarterback. You cannot band-aid this anymore. If he's not going to be around, you fire him immediately after the last game, and you go going with GM candidates right away. Get that GM in here as soon as you can. Let him hire his coach and let him bring in his coaches, and we get rolling from there. I don't like it because it's a restart, but what else do we have to do it? We've tried it this other way. It didn't work out. 6 years with Ballard, no division titles, and 1 playoff win with Andrew Luck was 5 years ago. You gotta restart this. It's been a train wreck since 2014. No division titles since 2014. and that AFC stupid, championship against the Patriots where we got killed. So I guess if I had to pick a player of the game, it's Alec Woods. I thought again Saturday was bad. I didn't like it. I thought he's just too conservative for my taste. I understand why he's conservative because of the limitations, but I don't care. I don't care. You got to coach aggressive. If you don't coach aggressive, shit like tonight happens. So, with that, guys, I'm going to wrap up the show. I appreciate everybody listening. I'm not sure when I'll be back, probably midweek. I think Luke will come on midweek, and then maybe this upcoming weekend we'll do Q&A, and I'll put something out next week. Or maybe I'll put them both out this week. Who knows? But Colts lose at 54-19 tonight to the Cowboys. They're very, very good. The Colts are not very good, as proven. One more wonderful primetime game against the Los Angeles Chargers. I think that game will be closer, but I don't think we'll score enough. So I think that's a loss. I think we go 1-3 down the stretch, finish for 5 wins, and are around the top 5, maybe a little outside. But we'll be in position to try to trade up. They've got to try to trade up with the number 2 team. Hopefully that'll be the Bears. So with that, guys, I hope you all have a great week. I will talk to you soon. Hopefully the Colts, didn't get any injuries from this game, and they'll be able to rest up over the bye week and come back and play hard for the rest of the season. Like I said, just want to see the young guys at this point, and I don't want to see Matt Ryan anymore or Pryor. Fire Pryor into the sun. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up, guys. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you soon. This has been For the Culture. I'm your host, Jason Spears. I'm out.